Honestly, don't need another way.
Oh my god, all your intros are singing.
I don't know. Fuck, I just remembered that the movie started with like a Jay song. I thought at first it was Chris Brown because it sounds just like Chris Brown, but it's not. It's some guy named Jay Sean. I remember.
Do you want to introduce it instead of singing?
Shut up. I'm just reminded of the late.
God damn it! I was useless. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Movie Mumbles.
Welcome to Movie Mumbles, where the Mumbles have
Johnson. Say hi, Roy.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Now we've introduced. Now you do your little thing about the episode. There you go.
Okay.
You can sing.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Movie Mumbles. We are doing the Movie Mumbles highlight, spotlighting the career of Jackie Chan. Last time we checked out Police Story, which is one of his earliest movie roles, and now we're moving all the way back to 2010 with one of his more later Americanized roles in a remake of the classic 1980s film The Karate Kid, starring everyone's favorite child actor, Jaden Smith. Yeah. You know, funny thing actually, during the production of this film, they were gonna actually call the Kung Fu Kid because, you know, they do Kung Fu in the movie and not karate. But like the main producer of it was like, nah, no one's gonna buy a fucking ticket to like the Kung Fu Kid. No, the Karate Kid. They're gonna know the Karate Kid.
Yeah, even though the whole film is nothing to do with karate. Yeah,
it's mentioned sometimes.
Nothing.
There's some mentions of it, and Jaden's character does do karate with the TV thing, but anyway. But it is the Kung Fu Kid in some countries, like Chinese countries, I think, have it as the Kung Fu Kid.
Yeah.
In some countries, though, the title of the film is The Best Kid, which I found amazing.
God damn it.
He's the best kid, because he's the best kid.
I didn't know that. I didn't actually know that they were gonna call it the Kung Fu Kid. They shouldn't have done. They just shouldn't have done this film. It's a bad remake.
No.
Do you wanna introduce and just say what the episode is about, even though we've already said?
Well, we just said it. We're talking about the 2010 remake.
Spoilers ahead from now, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers ahead. But we have 2010 remake of The Karate Kid. Okay, I can tell already you're not a big fan of this movie. You know what? I'll be honest. You know, I like the movie. I think it is a good movie. I will defend it. Look, compared to other remakes, I think it is a very faithful and unique kind of remake to the original. I'll be honest. I think the original is kind of a cheesy action 80s, a cheesy sports 80s movie kind of. It has all the same tropes. It's kind of cheesy in a way. Like, it has some good performances and stuff, and it's a very iconic film, but I wouldn't consider it like an amazing film, to be honest. This one, I think, you know, takes elements of the Karate Kid kind of formula and does some interesting things with it. But, yeah, pretty much the plot of this film is...
You're gonna make me very mad in a minute.
Whatever, I don't care. Anyway, the plot essentially is that Jaden Smith plays this young kid whose mother and him basically moved to China, and pretty much he's a fish out of water, and he doesn't speak Chinese. I don't know why they fucking moved to China if they don't. None of them speak Chinese, but we'll discuss that later.
They moved to China because Jaden Smith's mum got moved over from a company or something. It's very vague.
I thought that was
mentioned once. And it's just like
yeah, I would think that would be the thing they would use, but they never clearly state that. That would be a good. They never explicitly say that. That is an issue I have. But anyway,
yeah, no. Jaden says it went to the blonde kid that just disappears.
Oh yeah,
after he's been beaten up.
Oh anyway,
which is never explained either.
Well, so pretty much. Yeah, he's pretty much in China for a few days, and he's already being beaten up by these bullies. And it's
he's literally there that day and then gets beaten up as soon as he lands. He goes to find the maintenance guy because they can't figure out how to turn the water on, and then like he goes into the park to play basketball and then gets beaten up. That's literally that's the story progression. But that happens over like 15 boring, dull minutes.
Okay, anyway, so pretty much, you shut up. Anyway, so pretty much, eventually he goes to Mr. Han, who turns out is very good at Kung Fu. And he's played by Jackie Chan. He's pretty much the Mr. Miyagi to Jaden Smith's Daniel-san.
Mm-hmm.
And, shut up. Anyways.
Yes, he is.
And so, yeah, so pretty much, as it goes on, you know, it is pretty much the same kind of story. They do put it in China, and there is a lot of unique elements, but it's pretty much the same thing. There is a rival fighting thing, the teachers
they literally lift the script as well from the original in places, and it's just lazy.
Okay. But yeah, so pretty much let's get right into this. So if you've seen the original, you will kind of get a sense of what this story is. I do think the remake does do some original things, not just the fact that it's set in China, but we can go. We'll talk about more specifically. So what do you think about this movie? I can kind of tell already, but what do you think?
Okay, so a movie as a whole, it's fine, it's mediocre, it's not brilliant, it's not boring, it's not bad. Like, it does have good production value as a film by itself, but because it's in the shadow of what I would consider one of the 80s giant kind of coming-of-age stories, and it just doesn't work. My main problem with it is the age of Jaden Smith. He's 12 in this, and in the original, Daniel is about 16, 17. And that means that the love story going on means so much more when you're 16 or 17 because you kind of understand a little bit more and you've got that little bit more knowledge. When I was fucking 12, I didn't fucking give a shit about girls. It was all about, like, doing boyish things, running around and getting muddy and shit like that. For a 12-year-old to be like, hey, this girl is like, whatever, but then it doesn't work because he's just too young. So that's like my first. That's my main problem with this.
I will agree.
The aging is
I will agree.
It's way off, and it just feels wrong.
I feel like, again, I will agree with you. The aging does kind of lessen the story. I will agree with you.
It does.
Like the love story, and I will say the bullying kind of feels less impactful because in the back of my mind, I was like, this kid should probably just tell his parents, to be honest. Like if this kid...
pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
and that is what you would do at 12. You would just go home and just tell your parents.
Yeah.
At least that's what I did.
Yeah.
Well, not in so much words, but you'd go and tell a teacher. You'd go and do something.
Yeah.
But another reason why I don't like this film is because it's incredibly fucking racist. It's so racist. Jaden Smith is the most racist person I have ever met.
He's 12. I mean, I didn't get...
Well, yeah, I know, but it's
I didn't
not
get
just
racist.
him, it's his mum as well. And that's not the actor's fault, that's the script, that's the script writing. It's so Americanized way of looking at China. And it just pissed me off. And then especially when you've got one of the greatest Hong Kong giants, Jackie Chan, in this, and they've dragged him into this, and it's just kind of like dirtying people's names. Especially because it's kung fu and literally nothing to do with karate, so it's false advertising. And it's all for the money. That's all they wanted. This is just a cash grab by the Smiths. It's just Will Smith producing so that he can get his son into another film, which he doesn't belong. The only film I've ever liked Jaden Smith in is The Pursuit for Happiness, and that's because it was believable and he didn't really do much. In everything else, when he's been the star, or he's stood alongside, and he's only done like 3 or 4 or 5 movies that I've seen.
I will give him...
It's just weak and pitiful.
I'm disagreeing with this point. I don't think he's amazing. I'm not going to say he's like the greatest child actor that's ever lived or something. But I do think he does do a decent, like, performance, you know? There are obviously some... I really do believe... Like
right at the beginning... He's on the aeroplane, and all he ever gives is attitude. Like, there's never any other character depth. All he ever gives is attitude, and you're supposed to feel for this character because right at the beginning, on the wall, it was like, oh, it's growing up, first tooth, first home run, dad died. And it literally spells out, you have to feel sorry for this guy. And this is the exact reason why I hate child actors.
Okay. So, I know you're probably going to go on a huge rant right now. Let me just say, okay, I will agree the wall thing was kind of...
It's ridiculous.
I do give him credit. I think that's a better exposition than just saying, oh, remember your dad died and yada, yada, yada. They could have made it much worse. But I do agree it was kind of tacked on.
They could have showed it. Why do they have to tell the audience in films like this? Why can't we show it somehow? Make it creative, be original. If you're gonna take the story from Karate Kid, make it something new and creative and go and explore with that source material. And then it might be better, but they've literally just lifted pages from the original, put it down, moved them to China. Oh, and his dad is now definitely dead, which you never actually found out in the original Karate Kid. That's never actually mentioned. You just realize that it's a single mum having to move because of her job. That's all that they said in the original Karate Kid, and that's all you need to know. With this, like, they could have made something of that, and they could have built on it, but they didn't. They just shoved it in your face for 2 seconds in the edit, and then that's it. And you don't really care for the characters because of it, or whatever. It's just a waste of time, and there's a lot of these scenes in it. Now, I will give Jaden Smith credit later on in the film. Towards the end, he does actually have some quite good moments, but I don't care for those moments because of the first half of the film, which is just boring, dull movie making. And especially like the going to China bit, everything, every single moment of that sequence, which lasts like 5 minutes. They're on an aeroplane and they're driving in a car and they're going left to right to left to right from the screen. And it's just boring, it's dull, and it's lazy filmmaking. Okay. And like it sums it right up, right at the beginning when he meets that blonde kid who just disappears, like I said earlier, and there's a piece of dialogue that goes on between them, and it's no, it wasn't. It was his mate right at the beginning, and like he hands him over the skateboard, and he's like, "Nah, man, it's yours." That's Jaden Smith's line, and it's so deadpan and dull. I'm not over exaggerating here, and then the other guys just take it. And then
that guy was
Jaden's
shitty.
like, okay, and that's it. That's the dialogue. Like, that's how dull the dialogue is. I haven't made that up. I've literally had to pause it, put the subtitles on, and write it down while I was watching this because I thought it was just so boring. And the whole film is like that all the way through. Okay. It's slow and cheesy.
Okay. I'm gonna give this film a bit more credit. So, first off, in terms of it as an adaptation, it does follow the movie beat for beat, but I do think there are some interesting things it adds to it. And I think it kind of improves on the original in some aspects. First off, I found the joke with the fly kind of funny. I thought, like, the scene where, you know what I mean, he goes with the chopsticks about to grab the fly, and then he just swats it with a fly sweater. I thought that was kind of funny, and a nice little reference. Also, I think the whole, kind of, instead of the wax on, wax off kind of thing that's iconic to the Karate Kid.
Oh, God.
Okay, shut up. There's this whole thing with the jacket, which, first off, they kind of integrate a bit more into the story, because, as we said, Jaden's a kid with attitude, so, of course, when he gets into China, he takes off his jacket, and then his mother's like, you should put the jacket back on, and then Jackie Chan eventually sees this, and decides that should be part of, like, his whole karate thing. First off, I think it's better, I think that, I will be honest, I kind of like that more to the wax on, wax off thing.
No, the whole point of it, the whole point of the karate thing is the fact that everything he does, because he doesn't just do one thing to learn the karate moves, he does like a number of different things in the original, and the whole point of that was that everything is karate.
But that's the same point.
Kind of what they were getting at with Kung Fu, but they do it with just one thing, and it's the jacket, and you see it over and over and over and over, and it's just boring.
I disagree with you on that point. First of all, honestly, the message, the whole karate's everything metaphor works better here than the original, because it's a much longer time spent on the whole wax on, wax off metaphor and him painting the fence kind of thing, and it's kind of
sanding the floor. Yeah, like him doing jobs.
Yeah, exactly. All that's I'll be honest.
Providing his work.
Okay, shush.
And the thing is with the
I disagree with that.
It's so huge. You can feel that he spends ages with that in the original, whereas in this it's just picking up the jacket, putting on. You never see the scope.
But I think it's kind of more realistic. I'll be honest. I think it's more realistic.
Dr. Dre's character, whatever the fuck his name is, Dr. Dre pick up all the fucking coats and stuff.
But I think I kind of found it more realistic because it takes like Dre quicker to kind of get, like, it goes a bit quicker because it's kind of more realistic that if someone's learning Kung Fu and he's basically forced to do chores, that it'd probably go a bit quicker because he would kind of be like, why am I doing this? Like, it takes Daniel, like, much longer to kind of get to the point where it's like, I'm done with this, even though...
It takes Daniel 4 days to do that. In this version, it takes Jaden a lot longer
I don't
because
think
he's
so.
there visiting over and over again, and each new shot is meant to be a new day. I looked this up on the on the wiki or whatever like that. It actually takes longer in this version than it does in the original.
So
the original is 4 days worth of work. That's it. It takes 4 days and then he's on his training. Whereas in this Karate Kid, it takes so goddamn long to get to his training, and it feels it in the movie. Now, in the actual movies, side by side, the moment when Daniel starts actually learning the forms of karate, and they do like the punch scene, which is also word for word taken from the Karate Kid 1984 is lifted and then put into 2010. The amount of time in the 1984 version is 1 hour and 10 minutes before you get there, but you don't feel it because there's so many other things that you're invested in the movie that keeps you ticking along. But my main problem with this, and like I said, it's because of the age, is that it takes 1 hour to get to the punch scene, which is 10 minutes less, but it feels so much longer because there's just nonsense going on for that first hour. You have that love interest that just doesn't work. You have like a weird party thing where they kiss and it looks weird because they're fucking 12. Like, I don't want to see 12-year-olds kiss. That is just fucked up in my head. I do not want to see that. Like, why is that a thing? You've got that weird basketball. Again, basketball in movies, and it just boring. You've got the ping pong bit. Like, it was very simple in the original. It's just a soccer field. It starts off with the beach party, and then it goes to the soccer field. And then, like, you're integrated into Ali's character a little bit more. And that works for the original because it feels genuine. Whereas in this Karate Kid, it's all in the park doing shit, basically. And you don't really give a shit.
I think there is some great directing and I think there's some great directing and editing moments in there. Okay. First off, I like the scene with the serpent and the girl. I like that kind of
why do you like it?
Well,
why?
First off, it's a cool kind of quiet moment in the movie where you kind of just get to just kind of gaze down to this moment. I do think the film does a good kind of job of like, you know, Dre is like a fish out of water with like Chinese culture. And so it kind of, you know, there are some moments where you pause and kind of look into that. I'm not sure whether it's accurate or not, but it you know, it's a cool, quiet scene. And then later it's kind of explained that, you know, the serpent and the girl, at first, Dre is like, you know, the girl is, you know, following the serpent. But Mr. Han's like, no, actually the serpent is following the girl. The girl is so much in command that the snake is following her. And I think that sets up a little cool thing. I think it kind of relates to a theme in the movie, which is kind of like the mentor-student relationship between Mr. Han and Dre, which is I feel like it is more connected than in The Karate Kid, because I feel like it's more of a symbiotic or like duality kind of thing, especially with the scene with the, I forgot what they're called, like the bamboo sticks kind of, that relates to Mr. Han's car scene. I
do not like that.
And then at the very end, I thought it was a great moment when, like, at the end, like, Dre is so much in command that he kind of gets the bully character to kind of go follow his lead in a way. And honestly, first off, let me just say, I as much as I'm not a big fan of the child actors in this movie, and I do agree with you in that aspect, I thought the guy who played the crazy kid was fucking, like, just really looked fucking psychotic, and I was genuinely, like, intimidated by that. I don't know whether you were or not.
It still felt like really poor acting. Like, I couldn't get behind any of those.
I disagree.
Like, I understand. Okay, so again, going back to the original, the antagonist in that is relatable because he is a little bit older. He's really rich. He's probably been pressured by his parents. And there's a lot of subtext that you pick up through the film because of that. He's really interested in this girl that's thrown him back. Like, I could kind of see, I mean, it's fucked up, but I can kind of see where he's coming from. Whereas in this, it's just a guy, are you boyfriend and girlfriend? That's even in the, are you boyfriend and girlfriend? That's what Jaden Smith's character says. And then she's like, no, my parents just know each other. And then that's it. Like, that's it. That's his whole backstory. We don't get any more of that. Like, apart from him glaring into the camera. And for me, something intimidating is something that I know and that I'm uncomfortable with because I can relate to it. That is what's intimidating to me. I cannot relate to his character whatsoever because you never understand anything about his past. You don't really get that point of view. That's like one of the main things with the original, because the original is an exciting and sweet-tempered, heartwarming story with like the most interesting friendship, especially like the most interesting friendship between Daniel and Mr. Miyake. And that friendship is so interesting and complex because they shouldn't work. Whereas Jackie Chan, and as much as I love Jackie Chan, his performance is kind of...
Okay, I'm going to disagree. I know.
Me. It's just very... I don't know, it's very monotonous. Like, he's a great actor.
It's a more serious role.
And he can do
it's a more
really serious... No, he can do that. And I've seen him do it in some more of his Hong Kong movies. He can do that serious, dark role. It doesn't translate when he brings it to English.
I disagree. I will disagree on that.
I just don't think he's on par with that role. And I think that's because I love the original, and that, like, Pat Morita, who plays the original, he is such a profound, like, it's such a profound performance in that. And I'm going back to the car scene where Jackie Chan is just beating on the car, and he's drunk, and he just collapses and cries. There's never that insanity moment in that scene, whereas in the original there is. He's laughing as he's remembering this, and he's speaking about his past life and about his wife and his unborn son, which is 10 times more tragic than a 10-year-old son dying. Both very sad, but unborn way more tragic. They have that relationship, and it's more of a friendship than a father and son replacement. Whereas with the Jackie Chan version, Jackie Chan is supposed to be the replacement father, and I just don't think that works.
Okay. I'm going to really disagree with you on this point. Now, I've disagreed with you a lot of things about this film, but I'm really going to disagree with you at this point. I think Jackie Chan gives a phenomenal performance in this film. Like you said, it's much more of a kind of more serious and kind of more darker role for him, especially when comparing it to, like, Police Story, where he's a completely different thing. But anyway, I think...
it's different ages of Jackie Chan. As Jackie Chan has gotten older in his career, he's done a lot more darker stuff. Like, when he was younger, he did the comedy side. In the 70s, he did a lot of true kung fu movies, trying to be like a Jet Li. Well, he was actually down to be the next Jet Li, and then he branched off into the comedy side, and like that fit him so well. And then towards the 2000s, he ends up being like a really like quite a good dramatic role, and that's all in Hong Kong. There's nothing really in America that can stand up that well. Now, there are moments that he has where he has the pauses, and I think, yeah, okay, that's fine. But I just think that I've seen him do so much better, and I don't think it's Jackie Chan's fault. I think it's the director, is it Harold Zwart or whatever his name is. Like, it's just really badly directed. It's like, it's someone who is a massive fan of the original, has tried to copy it beat for beat, and it's the same with, like, the Psycho remake with Vince Vaughn.
Okay, I'm disagreeing.
Like,
that's
Vince
a literal shot-for-shot remake.
He's a great actor. You've seen Swingers, and, like, he's a great actor in that. But, again, it's just like someone trying to copy something that's great, and it just doesn't work for me, and it's just a cash grab. Okay. And I know I've gone to the extreme with the Psycho remake, but I have to go there because that's how I'm seeing it. That's how I saw this film. It just felt like a cash grab, scene for scene remake. Maybe not visually, but a lot of the dialogue, very much so.
Okay.
And that annoys me because they could have made this so much better. There's so much more potential, but it's the whole situation with the naming. They didn't want to be ballsy. They just wanted to get people in the seats because people will go and see the Karate Kid, but people won't go and see the Kung Fu Kid, which is essentially what the movie is.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you. I know there is no replacing Pat Moriarty's definitive Mr. Miyagi. I do think Jackie Chan does give a phenomenal performance. I do Look, I think that
it's
scene.
not phenomenal. You cannot use that word. The scene. He does an okay performance. I
disagree. I disagree.
Phenomenal.
Look,
phenomenal is batting it out the park, getting Oscars left, right, and center, being Academy acclaimed all over. That's phenomenal.
Anyway,
it's not.
Look, I'm just saying. I thought the scene. Look, honestly, I thought the scene in the car was a genuinely sad scene. Look, I don't know what you were feeling, Mr. Robot, but I felt emotional during that. I'm just saying.
I would have got emotional if it wasn't just smashed over the head with it. Because it is. Because, like, literally Jaden has to pick up the newspaper to understand what happens. It's just like, oh, come on. Let him tell the story. Let Jackie Chan tell it. Then it's more emotional. And it's got to come out of the blue as well. Like, from the moment he walks through that door after Jaden has been knocked down on his ass for the nth time in a row, like, from the moment that he walks through the door, he's already smashing up the car. But in the original, it builds. That scene builds to the moment where he collapses and is crying. And then you get the close-up on Daniel realizing that, oh my... like, my mentor is actually human as well. And, like, you know, he has problems, and I've got problems. And that's where the friendship really solidifies in the original. Doesn't quite work in this one, because it's too explosive too soon.
So, we're clearly at disagreement. I think Jackie Chan did a great performance. I think the fight scenes, look, they're badly edited. I will agree with that.
They are terribly edited, and that's my worst problem with this, because Jackie Chan is a great
the scenes
martial
themselves.
artist.
Look, okay, let me just say first off, the setup for the scenes I think is well done. I think the fight scenes had some potential if they weren't so cut together.
I will give you that. The setup for the scenes are fine. But then you get to the scenes.
The scenes, I mean the choreography, I mean the stuff that's done. Like, there's really two main fight scenes involving Jackie Chan, one of which is not even seen. It's like an alternate ending. First off, it's the scene with the kids, and the other one is an alternate ending where Jackie Chan fights the karate leader. And yeah. I think, like, the choreography, it's very clear Jackie Chan had a hand in choreography, doing the choreography for those scenes, because it does very much feel like something out of his films. It's just not like this. I think it's kind of funny when Jackie Chan kind of uses the boys' like own, like, just pretty much just rounding up all the boys and beating them up with their own kind of fists in a way. I just, you know, I do agree. It's not that well edited. It is not. It's just sloppy. It ruins some of the enjoyment because of how badly it's edited. I will give you that. For those fight scenes, like, the fight scenes aren't as impressive. I will agree with that.
Okay, so the Jackie Chan fight scene, because I do want to talk about that, because that's kind of the reason why I wanted to pick this theme. And there is only one that we can talk about, because we're not talking about the things that could have been or should have been or deleted scenes or anything like that. And that is the one where he does the jumper thing and ties it up. That choreography, I can guarantee, is brilliant. It's the problem is we can't see it. And that is the problem with American Jackie Chan. The cinematographers just don't know how to handle his work, and they don't know how to edit it. The editors cut on every single hit, every hit ever, and you don't feel the pain. And that's, again, another trademark of Jackie Chan, is the fact that he gets hurt. The only time you kind of sense that is when he's walking back and he's like, ooh, like on his chest. And that's it. That's kind of like all you get. So the choreography is so poorly edited. Like, you've got swinging cameras left and right, because that's how Hollywood have always edited and yeah, that's another thing. The shaky cam as well is just ridiculous. Like, why do we need that amount of shaky cam in a film like this? This should be a stable, steady film. It shouldn't be that shaky. But like, that fight scene in particular is just, it's flat because you can't see it. It feels like it's a bunch of people flailing around as opposed to people getting hurt. And I've actually taken that quote from someone else who on YouTube who's actually done a really
Every Frame of Painting
video. Yes, yeah, who's done a really in-depth video.
Yeah,
so you might want to quote that in the description.
I'll put a link to that if I remember.
But I mean, he puts that point across so well, and like, you see it. Like, I've seen, like, you can see why it doesn't work because of the camera angles. And yeah, like for me, it ruins that sort of thing.
Okay.
And that jacket can fuck off. I don't care what you say. You think it's good. That you can fuck that jacket off.
You're gonna jack it off.
Yep.
Or wax it off.
Also, the first beating that Jaden gets, I know we've gone over the time now, but for the first beating that Jaden gets, he should have had a spinal injury from that. Brain trauma. Because he was landing on fucking concrete. Not realistic. In the first one, it's sand, so you can kind of understand hard hitting, and it's still gonna hurt. And he gets realistic bruises and injuries and stuff. But no, I'm sorry, but it's just, yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Anything else? No.
Actually, yeah, they tried that. Like, I kind of was getting a little bit going towards the end, although it was already a lost cause for me by then. But they tried to really make me really love this film by putting AC/DC in it. You can't do that. Iron Man did that. Don't try and copy off Iron Man. There we go. That's the end.
Okay, so
that's the end of my notes. I've crossed them all out now.
So once again, we're at a kind of polarizing conclusion.
Also, she's also a really bad mother. She's like the worst mother. She's letting her 12-year-old boy run around China on his own when he's only been there for like a day. It's bad mothering. Bad parenting. Okay, I'm done now.
Okay, so yeah, as you can tell, there was a polarizing conclusion. I think, you know what, I'll be honest.
Bad film.
Okay, well, we know your opinion, but I think, I think this does do some new things with it. As for a remake, I think it's pretty impressive. Compared to other remakes, it does put a lot of effort into this. I do think for what they tried to accomplish, I think they did very well. I like the performances. I like some of the directing and editing. I do admit it's not a perfect film, and it's not going to beat the original Karate Kid in terms of memorability. But I do think, they put an honest effort into it. It could have been much worse. This could have been much more of a Blaine Jane Smith show.
They did not put an honest effort into this.
It could have made this more of a Blaine Jaden Smith
you cannot say any otherwise, because that is what Hollywood is now. They just pump out films for money. It's just the names. Jackie Chan, they're selling Jackie Chan's name, and they're getting loads of money. Jaden Smith, he's a Smith, so it's Will Smith. It's just getting the money. That's all it is. It was a half-arsed remake, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, Womble's a big fan, so as you can tell. So now, well, that's it. That's it for the Karate Kid.
So now we're going to move on to a good Jackie Chan film.
Okay, we'll see.
And this is going back to the 80s again, because I like the 80s, and actually the same year release as the Karate Kid came out. 1984 brought us Meals on Wheels. So yeah. And this time I actually believe that there isn't an English dubbed version of this, so you have to watch it in Cantonese.
We'll see. We'll see if I can somehow find one.
This one was actually a really difficult pick. I was gonna choose I had The Accidental Spy that I wanted to pick, and a few of his really early stuff, because I wanted to explore kind of how his fighting style has evolved. But Meals on Wheels, I haven't seen it before.
Oh, that's
so
the movie? I wasn't paying it. I didn't realize you said the movie.
Meals on Wheels is the movie.
It's Meals, or is that a pun? Wait, Meals on Wheels? Or I've honestly never heard of the movie.
God damn it.
Wait, I'm serious. I'm actually being serious. How's it spelled? I'm sure. Where is?
I will send it to you. when we've done.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of that. When I've heard of older Jackie Chan movies, I'm thinking of The Drunken Master, Armor of God, and Police Story.
I just said Meals on Wheels, didn't I?
Meals on. I don't know what the fuck you're.
It's Wheels.
Yeah, you said Meals on
Meals.
You said Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Meals. That's what it's called.
Meals on Meals. What the fuck?
It fucks me over every time.
Wait. So what the fuck is the movie?
I don't know. I've never seen it. But
well,
yeah,
I mean, obviously,
Wheels
everyone
on Meals. That's the name of the film. If you stop and listen, Wheels on fucking Meals. Wheels on Meals. I'm not going to say it again. Go watch the film. It's a good film, apparently. Now
is your time to check out whatever the fuck the movie's actually called. Any closing thoughts?
No, I'm pissed off.
Okay. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Wow. That song wasn't even in the movie, but It probably should have been. I don't know. They put that song in fucking every movie in the mid-aughts, late-aughts, you know? Okay, adios muchachos.